Hello students, good morning to all of you. So today we are going to recapitulate the chemical reactions and equations. But during this session we are going to recapitulate in the form of the mind map. That before exam how you can have a quick recap of the particular chapter. Now look, when we talk about the chemical reactions and equations. So, in how many parts we can divide it? The very first thing in which we can divide it is what? That we can divide it in the pattern of the chemical reactions. So, let's begin with this. Now, when we're talking about the chemical reactions, any chemical reaction can be said to be done if it follows a few characteristics. Now, what will be the characteristics of any reaction? The characteristics are going to be the as following. The first characteristic we can say that if there is the change in state. The second characteristic we can say when there is the change in color. Third one, change in temperature. And the fourth one, evolution of gas. Now, if any of these four characteristics are coming in any chemical reaction, it means that you can say that yes, the reaction has taken place. Now, the another thing which we should know about this is what? That is chemical equation representation. Now, whenever we are talking about the chemical equation representation, we have the reactants. Always remember that the reactants are written at the left hand side, and then we have the products. The products are always written at the right hand side. Now, these chemical reactions, we can say that this can be of the further different types. Now, how they can be the different type? The most important and which is the useful to us is the balanced chemical equation. Now, what do you mean by the balanced chemical equation? The balanced chemical equation means what? The very first thing, it follows law of conservation of mass. The second thing is the number of atoms are equal on both sides. And this is only the law of conservation of mass. Now, moving ahead, the next thing comes that is the types of the chemical reaction. Now, when we are talking about the types of the chemical reaction, let's look them one by one. The first type, let's take us the first type as the types of chemical reaction. So first type, let's take as the combination reaction. Now, when we are talking about the combination reaction means that you are bringing the two or more things together and getting the one single product. That is like over here as a reactant, I am having the A plus B, and as a product, I get them in a combined form. This is the first type. The second type of the chemical reaction, we can have the decomposition reaction. Now this decomposition reaction, it is just opposite of the combination reaction. How it is opposite of the combination reaction? Because over here we take a single product and we get decomposed into the two or more forms. That's why it is called as a opposite of the combination reaction. Now this decomposition reaction further can be of the three types. The first type is the thermal. The second type is a electrolytic, And the third type is a photolytic. Now, thermal decomposition means that you are using a heat to decompose. Electrolytic decomposition means that you are using a electricity. And photolytic means that you are using a light, or you can say a sunlight, to decompose. The third reaction we have the displacement reaction. Now, when we talk about the displacement reaction means what? Displacement reaction means that we are displacing something. Like, for example, we are having the one salt AB and we are having the another element C. Now, what is going to happen? C being more reactive compared to the over here B is going A, it is going to displace it from its salt solution. So A is going to remain alone and the BC is going to make its salt solution. Now over here, the key concept for the displacement reaction is the reactivity series of the metal. Means the metal which is more reactive is going to displace the lesser reactive. Now, the second one is the double displacement. Now, when we are talking about the double displacement reaction, in the displacement reaction, we was taking the one as a salt solution, or you can say as the ionic form, and the another one as a metal. But in this particular case, both are going to present as the ions. For example, we are having the two solutions. So what is going to happen? Simply the interchange of the ions is going to take place. Such type of the reaction is going to called as a double displacement reaction. Another point is what? That the another reaction, which is again the very important reaction, is the redox reaction. Basically, the redox reaction, we called it as a redox reaction because it is the combination of the oxidation and reduction. Now, when we are saying it is a combination of the oxidation and reduction, it means what? That we study them in a separate manner. Let's. So the one we take it as a oxidation and the another one as a reduction. Now, in the case of the oxidation, always remember that there will be the gain of oxygen and reduction will be the opposite, that is the loss of oxygen. In the oxidation, we can say in terms of hydrogen, loss of hydrogen, and in the reduction, it is going to be the gain of hydrogen. Then you can also say that in the case of the oxidation, there will be the addition of electronegative atom. But in the case of the reduction, there is the addition of electropositive atom. For example, if I take the example of the Fe2O3 plus carbon monoxide. So it is going to give us the Fe plus CO2. Let's balance it. Now, in this particular case, if you observe, then in the case of this carbon monoxide, what is happening? It is changing to the carbon dioxide. It means that there is the what? Oxidation is taking place. As we know, the oxidation means the addition of the oxygen. And if we talk about the Fe2O3, in this particular case, the Fe is losing the oxygen. It means the reduction is taking place. Now, these 5 reactions which we have done, they are the important reactions. Besides this, we can have the other reactions also. Now, what are the other reactions? The other reactions are going to be the exothermic reaction, endothermic reaction, neutralization reaction, and a precipitation reaction. Now, when we are talking about the exothermic reaction, the exothermic reaction means what? The heat is evolved. When we are talking about the endothermic reaction, it means the heat is absorbed. Talking about the neutralization reaction means that the combination of an acid and base to give a salt. And in the case of the precipitation reaction, the precipitate is going to form. Now, precipitate is what? Precipitate is an insoluble substance. Okay. And when we are talking about these two, that is the exothermic and endothermic, these are the reactions of the heat exchange. Now, moving ahead, the chemical reactions when we are talking about, we can also say over here in the case of the chemical reactions that we have the two more things. Now, what are the two more things? The two more things are in the terms of the corrosion and the rancidity. Now, what is rancidity? Let's take about this. Basically, it is the process of oxidation of fat or oil. And when we talk about the corrosion, corrosion means what? That when reactive metal surface is attacked by air or water. Now, if we want to prevent the corrosion, we have that we can use the alloys, we can do the paint, we can do the greasing. And in the case of the rancidity, if we want to avoid the rancidity, the process of the prevention will be putting in the airtight container, keeping the food items away from the sunlight, keeping to refrigerate, then the use of antioxidants. Now over here, as I have already told you, as an antioxidant, we use the two antioxidants. Because all the methods like keeping in the refrigeration, stay away from the light, keeping the food you're away from the light, the refrigeration, the vacuum packing, they are common. But if the question comes about the antioxidant, we have the BHA and the BHT, and their full forms are the butylated hydroxy anisole, and this is going to be butylated hydroxytoluene. So students, this was all about the unit chemical reactions, and I hope this will be useful for you all in the time of the exams. I hope you all like it. Thank you. Have a good day.